Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 105 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today we are going to be making a page project. We're going to make it out of some envelopes. I have some papers here to cut and a cutter. Let's go ahead and get started. I don't know what to call it. It's basically an interactive flippy little bunch of pockets on a page. Let's go ahead and do it, and then you guys can help me name it in the comments below. So these pages right here are to cover our envelopes, and I wanted to show you that you guys can make them out of any size envelope. I do apologize for my voice. I know I am under the weather and just trying to make a video today. So I apologize. These you can make them out of any size envelopes and any kind of flap. The important thing is that it does need to have a flap because we actually glue it down to our page with a flap. If it's an envelope, it should have a flap, right? So anyway, a flap, and you can make it out of small envelopes or large envelopes. You just want to make sure that when you're cutting your envelope that you are making sure that the pieces will fit onto your page, and more this will make more sense when we do it. I'm going to start out with the small envelopes and we'll see how that goes. So anyway, you want to take two envelopes. You need two of the same size, or it could be different sizes. Really, different sizes add different interest. So two envelopes, whatever kind you want. And then we're just going to cut these envelopes in half after we put some paper on the front. So you want to make sure that your paper goes on straight, and we're just going to choose, I have a collagey little paper in here. I want to use this one to cover up these two envelopes. So I like these collage digitals because they give you a bunch of different elements that you could collage two pieces together, and they're not going to be identically the same. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to glue these down onto some envelopes, just like this. This is an awesome project when it is done, but it does take a moment. You don't want to get glue on your flap right now. Goodness. So just glue up the whole entire front of your envelope. This is a brand new glue stick, and it's cold in here, so it's being difficult. But anyway, glue up the whole front of your envelope. Got to get lots of glue on there. And then you're going to just add your paper. I like to use, like I said, the collage sheets, but you guys can use any paper to cover your envelope. Just try to make sure that it's on there straight. So there's that one. And then we're going to do this next one on the same page. So I'm using one 8.5 by 11 digital to do both of these envelopes. And these are the smaller. In the US, we have like a business size envelope and we have a letter size envelope. This is the smaller. I believe it's like 6 3/4 inches long. It's the smaller size letter envelope. But again, the size of the envelope doesn't matter at this point because you just need to make sure when you cut it that it will fit onto your page. So again, I'm just trying to aim for straight, and hopefully I got it all there. Anyway, that's good. Now cut out your envelopes. We don't cover over the back of them. You could, but you would probably cover them with something different. You will see the back of your envelopes, so you might want to use copy dyed envelopes or something like that. I'm just going to ink mine and see how they look, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. But cut them out. Obviously at home you would wait for yours to dry so that you're not running your scissor right through. Don't cut your flap. You wouldn't run your scissor right through wet glue. Anyway, here we go. And here we go. So I have some fun scraps for the scrap bin. I love collage papers. So many uses for those. Okay, so we're going to move those over there. And then we have our envelopes. We have two envelopes. I didn't cut this. We have two envelopes that have pretty paper on the front. That pretty paper is just the part where we're going to decorate. So this could be a base layer. You could have covered them with book page if you wanted. You could have used a punch board and made your own envelopes and made them out of some kind of decorative paper or book page. Anyway, you have two envelopes. Both of them have flaps at the top of the envelope. You want to take your envelope and you want to cut your envelope roughly in half. It doesn't really matter exact. Just cut it in half. And I don't want to run this through my cutter because my cutter does not like wet glue. And then cut it in half again. just like that. And you end up with four little pockets, basically, because they all have little flaps. So four little pockets. And now you want to take your little pockets and whatever journal page that you're going to use these on, you want to go ahead and start gluing them down to your journal page. And so if you imagine this was a journal page, this is the journal page I keep showing you guys. So if you imagine this is a journal page in your journal, it's a signature page in your journal, you're going to take your envelopes, and it doesn't matter which page you put them on, and you're going to begin gluing them from the bottom so that they flip up, okay? So this guy's going to go here, and you just arrange them whatever way that you want to arrange them. I'm going to try to do this guy here just for some variation. This guy here, and then I'm going to do this guy over here, and this guy up here at the top. Nope. Maybe. This guy's going to, see how the bird is covered? I'm going to move him to the top. Switch these around just a little tiny bit. I just want my birdies to be seen. Okay, so something like this. It doesn't really matter. Your arrangement will differ, but you want to end up with four little flip up pockets, okay? And you can arrange them any way you want. This also, so there's another variation, a whole nother variation of this project. I'll talk about that in a minute. So once you get them on your journal page the way that you like, and they fit on your journal page, see how I closed it and squeezed them in? You just want them to fit on your journal page, and I'm still cutting off that bird's head. So I think he's going to have to go to the top. I know it's weird, but they're going to have to go like that. So anyway, this is going like this. Once you get it on whatever page you want, so let's just take them on this one now. Should have started with this one in the first place. This is just a regular copy dyed paper, so I can stick this in any journal, and I'm just going to lay them back out on here. It doesn't really matter what way we had them. Not really. And then I fuss with it. This guy was over here, and then we go. Okay, so they're on my journal page. I like the arrangement. It doesn't really matter what arrangement you made. Just make an arrangement. Then you want to glue the flaps of your envelopes down to your journal page. You could use glue stick for this. It doesn't really matter. But just take your envelopes and just start gluing the flap to your page. So just pick up your envelope, add glue, put the envelope back down, and you're just going to continue to work like that until, you know, you're happy with how they are on the page. If you're using art glitter like I just did, once you put it down, that's pretty much where it's going to stay. So if you use art glitter, you don't have really a lot of wiggle room. So just glue it down. And then you'll notice that this one is underneath of that flap. So you're going to have to put this one down first and then come up here and put this one. You have to make them so that they all open, right? So you can't have the flaps be on top of another envelope. It has to be right on the page. So then this guy's going to go here. And then this guy's going to go down here. So after you glue all of your flaps down, you're left with this flippy interactive, but we're not done yet because we don't actually have any pockets. Just make sure that they're straight on your page, and then they all flip down like this. So now you have this beautiful page of half envelopes. You're going to need to seal up these envelopes to make some pockets, because, you know, you could have journal cards come out this way, but if you seal up this envelope, you could have a journal card or a tag coming out the side. So for each individual envelope, you can decide which way you want your pocket to be. For this front one, we have a nice spot over here for a tag to slide in that way. So I'm going to, that was a nice glue bubble, I'm going to seal up this little pocket part right there. And then our tag is going to go in over here on this side, over here on that side. So that's how that's going to work. Now this guy here, truthfully, he is a little crooked. He did not quite get glued on straight, which is why I was saying to make sure you get him on straight. But he'll be all right. I'll just have to do a little adjustment here with some glue. So if I tuck that in and glue it, it'll be all right. It'll be all right in the end. So there we go. Get that in there. So there we go. He's fine. He's in there now. For him, again, I think a side pocket this way would be nice. He is open right there on that side. So let's just go ahead and glue him closed there as well. And I'm making sure that I'm not gluing where my pockets are going to get glued closed. I'm just gluing on the top part of this little white section. So we have 2 side pockets. Now we come to this guy. This guy, he is cut open over here. And I think a tag there would be nice. You'll see it, but you'll have to flip up to get it. So we'll just do a little side tuck here. So I'm just gluing down there. Oops, a little too low. Adjust when necessary. So there's that guy. And then for this one, because we have room over on this side and we don't really have much room over here, I think we should do our pocket on this side. Now this envelope, he is only open on this side, and I don't want my tag over there because it would be too hard to get out on a page. So for this guy, we're going to seal up both sides of this, and then we're going to cut off another side. So we're going to seal up this guy. So we sealed them there, and we sealed them there. We're not sticking anything to anything. And then I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and cut off this side. And then from there, you can cover the backs of these with copy dyed paper, which is a really great idea. If I would have done that first, it'd be great, but I didn't. So cover them with copy dyed paper, and then they're little flip up journaling spots. And to open this guy on this side for a tag, we're just going to snip it like that. That's great. I got a little bit of envelope showing there, and I will snip that off. So you could figure out how you wanted to do your little pockets before you glued them down. Honestly, that little piece of paper, he's all right. So we have 4 pockets that flip up and down. You could, again, make writing space. That's what I would prefer, is make writing space back here, so that people can journal on these cute little flip up things. And then we need to make tags for all of these little pockets. Now my preference would also be to hole punch them. So if you can get a hole punch in your pocket and do a little tiny sliver, that would be great. If you can't at this point, don't stress about it. If you lay them all out and plan ahead, you can put your copy dyed paper on the back, and you can do your little thumb hole notches and all of that ahead. I cannot really truthfully get him in there. So it's fine. We're not going to do thumb hole notches, or I could use a smaller punch. But anyway, this is what we have here. And it's just a little place for a tag to go in. I mean, it's a pretty good size. So let's cut some tags. We ended up needing 4 tags. And so let's cut some tags. What are we going to cut tags out of? I have this ledger, and I like that. So let's cut some little tags out of this ledger. I mean, why not? It's here. Let's do it. So we're going to cut tags that are going to be, our tags need to be roughly about 3 inches by, I'm going to say 3 by 3 1/4, and we'll see if they stick out. Maybe 3 1/2 so they stick out. So first of all, let's cut 3 inches and see how that goes. Will that fit in there? I think it will. Hopefully. Yes. So 3 inches fits in there, and then I can tell, you know, from there, I can get 3 inches, 3 1/4. I'm going to try 3 1/2 so that it sticks out a little bit, because you want your tags to stick out from the side over here. And that's pretty good. Once we cut that into a tag shape, that's pretty good. Now we have another one. I have another one here, and maybe we can do that one. Did we do it down here? We did. So this guy is right there, and we'll put him in that one. He goes in a little further, but that's all right. That works. There we go. Okay, so we need 2 more tags. And I'm going to continue. I mean, I would normally do a different paper just so we have more variety. Let's try cutting this blue one down here and see what that looks like. We'll cut some tags off of it, and we'll just pretend that it is cardstock, and I will back it with copy dyed cardstock so that all of my tags are sturdy enough. I've learned with this cutter I need to back things later because they don't always work the way that I want them to. So let's cut this 3 1/2 inches. And let's see how that looks coming out of this pocket. We'll just make some little journal cards and some little tags to go in these little pockets. It's a super cute idea, and honestly, I haven't seen anyone do it. I'm sure that it exists somewhere out there. I just haven't seen anyone do it. Maybe somebody's done it in a different way. I guess this one is too fat. I guess it is too, oh, it is 3.5. That's why it needs to be cut down. There we go. But anyway, so what should we call this guy? What is this? Is this like a waterfall envelope pocket journal, hidden journal spot? What is this guy called? Anyway, once we get these all in there. That looks pretty cute. And then we have two. This one down here has one, so we just need one. Anyway, you'll make little tags or little journal cards and you'll stick them in there. They're super cute though. And I want to show you the variation because there's a whole nother one, a whole nother variation of this that you can make. And it's different. It's laid out very differently. So let's put him in there and we'll pretend that these are journal cards and that these are tags. And we'll pretend that I put some coffee dyed paper back here to cover all of this up so that you can have journaling space. And to cover this little flap here, you could have just adhered this with some washi tape across here, and that would have decorated it with your coffee dyed paper back there. So you could put little pictures, fun little pictures or quotes on a couple of these so that they're decorated as well as some journaling space, and then cut these into tags or journal cards. But whatever. You guys get the idea for that one. Let me show you another version of this, okay? So the other version we're going to make, I know we're already at 16 minutes, so I would need to be fast with this. I won't decorate it, but I will show you what it is. So all I have left in this room right now is a business envelope. So we're going to use 2 business envelopes, but for this project, it will work better if you use the smaller letter envelopes that I just used. So anyway, we're going to take these. We're going to cover them with decorative paper the same way that we did before, but these ones are going to be adhered onto your page sideways with the flap over here. So just make sure that if you choose a directional paper, that your envelopes, your little pockets, they will be laid out this way on a page. So your flap will be on the left and on the right. Anyway, so the way that I did it here, my flaps are up and down, right? So they're at the tops and the bottoms of the page. When you glue this one on, your flaps will be on the side of the page and these will flap in. So I think you guys can see where I'm going with it. But let me just show you quick. So cover your envelopes, use the smaller envelopes, I think. Cover the envelopes with decorative paper, cut the envelopes in half. And so I'm just going to pretend that these are, you know, the right size envelopes. You guys will just have to bear with me with it. So cut your envelopes in half. Maybe possibly cut your envelopes in half. We're going to cut this guy in half. And we're just going to pretend that these are the right size. So just pretend that's right. And then pretend this one is right. I know there's a lot of pretending going on today. And so here we go. There's that. So for this guy, and I'll show you another variation because I just figured it out in my head. But anyway, for this guy, you have the little flaps on the sides. So your flaps are going to go like this. And you're going to take your envelopes, and you have decorative paper on them all, and you're going to glue them, pretend that this is a journal page, because it is. Glue them on so that your flaps, this is my flap here, so that they overlap each other like this. And so they're going to kind of weave in and out, up and down your page. And so this guy would go over here, and this guy would go over here. And so for this one, it stacks up like this, or something similar to this. And it's going to be where you flip it open, and flip it open, and flip it, if I put this on right, flip it open, and flip it open. So you're still going to end up with 4 pockets, and they are going to flap over each other. And again, you can arrange them any way that you want. I like to start at the bottom and then work my way up the page, arranging them. And so, you know, you got to tuck them in and whatever, so to get them all to fit. But this is a business envelope, and you can do it with the business envelope, but I cut out the middle sections of the business envelope. So I cut out these middle sections. If you use a business envelope and you cut out your middle sections, you're left with these little policy envelopes. This is the middle section of a business envelope. and you're left with these little policy envelopes. So I would, for a cute piece of ephemera, glue up both sides of this, and you've got this little policy closure where you can put the little circles to close it, and then tuck something nice down inside of there. I mean, they're pretty small. You could also put this on as like a cute little belly band. I don't know where. You could even make it go over the envelopes and make a little belly band. But, you could also make smaller little pockets by gluing it up the same way. I don't know if you could fit more pockets on here and still flip them all out. But anyway, don't throw these little things away if you're using a business envelope. They're useful. There's 2 projects. This is the only one that looks halfway decent, but it's not bad for the way that I feel today. And at least we got something done in this video. All right, guys, leave me some comments for what to call this guy. Is this just a waterfall envelope hidden journal spot pocket system? What is it called? I'm really terrible at naming creations. I just played with envelopes and figured this out. This is what I've been doing for years because I used to do this in my scrapbooks. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for putting up with me. Bye, guys.